this, everything was same with the king. These temples facing to the east, to the west, or like that one on the corner, that one like a watchtower. Those are located according to the equator and the magnetic north for the equinoxes and the winter and the summer solstice. For that reason, this one it was not the first knowledgeable place. Tulum it was practically, after the Mayan culture was collapsed. But the age of this one is 900 years after Christ, and it's still occupied when the Spanish came here. A lot of the kingdoms used to be abandoned according to archaeology for a different theories. Dry seasons, some like a plague of locusts, like a box, like a big wars. Something like the people, they had a small epidemic for the pollution of the water, and they got to drinking, and they had a problems in the stomachs, and according to archaeology. And according to history, it used to be collapsed culture, about 1250 after Christ. In those years, we can see here in the front of you, you're checking that small platform and the tiny ones is in a small window in there. In archaeology, we call dog house. Herrera, dog house. In those days, after Palenque, Chiapas, Chichen Itza, everything in geometry and astronomy was done. Everything was written in a hieroglyphics. And they just use it, when they were designing this complex according to the location of us with the magnetic north and the equator. To see the equinoxes. When you see that window in the front of you, every March 21st at 6 o'clock in the morning, you see the sun is right, in the window. And I'm gonna show you. Please come. That one, come here. I'm gonna show you here. The idea. You check in here. I'm gonna put it here now. Look. One more time. Look. It's on the line up there and the wall. Look, where the wall is the flat stone in there. There are another three of them on the right hand side. If we're sitting up here in March 21st watching through the window, at 6 o'clock in the morning the sun is right in the center of it. Like a sky watcher. But used to be much before. Chichen Itza, Palenque, Chiapas, Guatemala, in the north. That means if we are stand up here now, you check the navigation of here. We are facing 21 latitude north, 25 longitude west, according to the equator and the magnetic. The geometry, the mathematics, it was important. The Mayan people, they use the concept of the zero and they making a geometry in a round shape, like the circle, the square, the triangle. And the shape it was started like an astronomical observatory, like an spiral shape, like a stone shape. In those years, the Mayan people were describing, the location of us according to the magnetic north and the equator. For that reason, in those years when the Spanish came here in America, not the Mayas, America, civilization, Panama, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, USA, Canada used to be different, the kind of dressing. And they thought when they saw the people in the continent used to be dressing like a snakes, like a jaguars, like a eagles, like an animal, they thought used to be a creatures of God. They had no conscience, no spirit, no soul, and they were baptized in America according to history. Used to be converted to Christianity. Because according to history, for the Spanish, they didn't understand. When they saw most of the people normally like this, especially dressing, in those days, they started to convert to Christianity, the people. And everything was destroyed because everything was considered for the Catholic religion opposite to the Christianity. Because if we see in the Maya writing, in the Mayan document, in the Mayan stone carvings, listen, the figure of the snake open the mouth like this, or the jaguar, and you see the human being into the snake and the jaguar mouth. For us, according with the Christianity, means symbol of the evil, symbol of the Antichrist. For the Maya was different. It's not the only culture, it was symbol of the person or the family. They had knowledge in the medicine and astronomy. Books, temples, evidences used to be destroyed for the Christianity according to history, the Catholic religion. I'm gonna go, come here. I'm gonna go with you. Please come here. I'm gonna show you. According to history, when the Spanish came here, the Europeans in our continent, it doesn't matter, you know, the nationality. Portuguese, you know, British. In those years, the Mexican country was country, you know, normally for Spanish language, tradition, you know, because you asking us, which one is the most official, original Maya language? Those are no Gonzales, no Rodriguez. Before the Spanish came here, used to be some families in the small communities, and they were like a preserving, you know, documents, statues, idols. And one of those families is considered very important for us, the family Shiu. Still alive. Listen, the last name is Shiu, official Maya last name. In the community, the Spanish, they were upset. They didn't imagine, you know, the Mayan people, they making a ceremony for their snakes, like a symbol of fertility. 1562, July 12th. The second bishop from Spain here, he wrote his name, you know, in our history like the worst, Diego de Landa, because he was ordered to collect in weeks and weeks before. In one night, he was burning over 2,000 documents and over 10,000 statues, idols of clay, because on that way he was trying to destroy the tradition and the evidences of the cultures. And that family is still living in there with some copies of the documents were destroyed, the family Shiu. In those days, you can imagine when the Spanish came here, the first idea it was they would conquer the Mayas, right? Never. The Mayas, they would conquer the Spanish. The really first Maya was conquer the Spanish, it was a woman. Because it was the first woman here in a 1511. The first expedition from Spain, it was an accident here. Because this guy was sailing between Jamaica and Cuba in a 1511. And there was a hurricane. And it was in a shipwreck. And about 12 Spanish, they got saved the life. And these guys, they were rescued in the water, in the reef for the Mayan people with the canoes, with the kayaks. And two of these guys, they were narrating the history. Mr. Special, you know, Gonzalo de Guerrero. He was a soldier. And the other guy was a missionary. Guerrero, he was conquered the Mexican people, you know, because he was the first man, he got married in Tulum with the first Mexican woman. And they had 3 children. In those years, it was the conquest of Mexico, not with the weapons, not with the, right, with the rifles. And the first Mexican woman, she got married here. Listen, her name is Pilitzapna. That means Aurora. Aurora means the resplendor of the sun in the ocean, the sunrise in the female Aurora. That was the first Mexican woman. Obviously, we can see, please come here. Señor Canu. Antonio Canu.
I just feel like I'm wiping all of it off my body.
this is the name Tulum, stinking city, stinking land. Do you like it, the name? Do you know why? When the Spanish came here, because they didn't understand our ancestors people, they asking our people, where are we? What is your name? The Mayan answer, Uyutan Ma Matinapikatan, or I don't understand you, what do you say? Right? What are we? What is your name? Uyutan Ma Intan. What do you say? I don't understand you. This is Yucatan. It's like another names. The land of us we call Uluminkutsietelke, the land of the turkeys and the deers. No Yucatan. It's like we say cenote. We don't have cenotes in Maya language. We have tsunot. Tsunot is empty caverns, empty caves, because that is the name. Tsu is empty, not this cavern. It's a cave. Cenote is Castilian, adopted, in the dictionaries of us. That means underground river, because cenote is not underground river in Castilian. It's another name, right? We can see here, right in front of you, was a steam bathroom. That is the palace. The palace of Kukulkan. You say why Kukulkan? Because the two pillars you see up there used to be two snakes. Used to be only when used to be festivities, and the king or the queen, it was stand up there to watching the ceremony. And the ceremony, it was right below down there in a small square platform like a stage. But before the ceremony, when the sun rise, in those days, the people, they were making a ceremony for the big festivities. In that square platform used to be some guys to play the drums. They would sacrifice animals. They were bleeding part of the bodies of themselves, and they were making a noise, imitated, the whistles, the frogging of the animal, because the peninsula of Yucatan is very rocky. In March 21st, they celebrated the ritual we call Chak Chak. Chak Chak is the rain god. They were celebrated the ceremony for fertility, and the rain god, it was one of those elements which they were called to the rain. And according to history, look, this one, it was in a steam bathroom. Where is she? Right in the front of you. We can see this is in a small, like a palace, and the other one, it was another palace, like a overnight, where used to be occupied, for the family, the royalty family. It used to be only 2,500 people, but only 2% of those people used to be living into this country. 2%. The other 98% of the people was living far away inland, and they used the water from the underground rivers, and the people, they used like a containers over here, like some water specially deposit, and the people, they were moving the water, and they were transported, the oriental people on the shoulder like some sticks, and they were holding up there like a potteries, and they were provided the water from inland to here to the family, according to the archaeologists, in a fresh water. Please come here. I'm gonna show you here. It's up now. That means when the sun rises, when the sun sets, or the figure of the descending God. The Maya people, they try to give us the idea that human life is like a sort of system. You born, you dead. The sun rises, the sun sets. Right? According to this. It's not a cycle, only a cycle of our life. But the cycle of the sun is repeated according to calendars, every day, according to history. They never use the system of us, we use like a Gregorian system, right? Because the Mayas, they never had a leap year. The calendar, it was the universe of them, it was the unit of the day, the sun, every single day. In, that is day, that is sun. Winal. Winal, that means the mouth of the year. 18 months for 20 years. You know why 18 months for 20 years? Winal is coming from Winik, and Winik in Maya is the human being, you and me. Because we have 20 fingers. The Mayan month is for 20 days, not for 31 days. Because each month used to be for 20 days. 18 times 20, 360, one extra month for 5 days. The human being is like a sunrise, upside down. In the front of you, you see that small temple. In the other one to your right hand side, take a look at two pillars. In the biggest and the tallest one, look right inside of the two pillars, you see there is a pretty tiny light and a pretty tiny clear in there. In this one, There is another one. Unfortunately, the archaeologists they cover in the east because for the bats, for the swallows, work inside, and they were destroying the paintings. On the left side of our natural is over there to the left, and between the catwalk and the wood I'm gonna show you in this moment. I mean, how fast, so easy to understand here. If we are in this temple in the March 21st at 6 o'clock in the morning, where the figure is, look above the gate, in the front of your eyes, in the square panel, up there, there is a stone carving upside down. Look at it. It's like the childbirth. And the human being. Here, the Mayas is looking. March 21st at 6 o'clock. More figures and that is the sunlight comes through the window inside. Started this program. Started the ceremony. March 21st, equinoxes, equals, days and nights. If you are stand up here, turn around by yourself, wherever you are, in this pen or in this location, the sun on the top of you is right in the front of your head, and you look
God's behind me talking.
look at the shadow now. If we are here in December 21st, the shortest day of the year, the sun rises. When you see the picture upside down, the sun is crossing the legs all the way through, and it's going on to that way, to the equator at 4 o'clock in the evening. If you are standing up here watching to the north at 4 o'clock in the evening, when the sunset, the solar reflection is hitting the shoulder here, and the picture of the sun is one right inside. Where the window is up there, look up there between the two pillars. In June 21st, the sunrise comes through the window, and the sunset with the power flying time. If we are here, on the line up here, the sun reflected through the space here, and the figure of the it used to be the system they use, with the observation, the reflection of the sun in the space like a pen and a glass. And according to compass, this is the idea, they use the geometry to describe the orbit of our planet around the solar system. According to history, please come here. He's making the sign like a cross. East to west, right? And according to the thinking of you see there is another window here. Look in the idea. Look in the front of you. Look the other window is over there. Come here. You see the window over there now? Look. Right here. In this is another temple. Look, there are 1, 2, 3 square panels up there in the wall. You pay attention, the middle ones, right in the middle way, there is another one upside down. When the sun rises in March 21st, over here through the window, when the sun sets from west to east, in the March 21st at 4 o'clock in the evening, we can see the most spectacular phenomenon in America, or astronomical thing in Chichen Itza. The reflection of the sun looks like a snake. Idea. In this building over here, there is a small window over here. When we have this phenomenon in Chichen Itza, you have an idea. Look at this. Kukulkan is the sunset. Is descending over there. The main temple of Chichen Itza, if you've been there, look the people, look the public here is. This is not a Photoshop, these original ones. Take a look. The 9 terraces we see here looks like a solar reflection, like a triangle of light. And look, the snake head is down here. That one is done every year, twice in the year. Kukulkan is here to fertilize the soil land. Kukulkan is here to harvest in the soil land, the cornfield. When the sun sets, the solar reflection goes from the window here to the figure is upside down, making a circle, in a small circle. That means it's time for sleeping, time for the funerals. And according to the archaeologists, in the morning, before the sunrise, the people was buried, according to the treasure. Over there, I'm gonna show you here. Don't surprise and don't scare it. Come here, look at this. A lot of people in your country, we use a lot of technology now. This fruit is not toxic. It's delicious. We make a candy. We make a dessert of this fruit. How do you call it? Ginger. Is that right? The Maya people, they never use sugar cane. They use a lot of spices, a lot of them. One of those, it was cinnamon. A lot of cinnamon, chocolate, right? In according to his, you taking a knife, you chop down here, you boiling water with sugar cane or honeybee, and you added cinnamon. You're making a candy, like a dessert of this one, right? This one is white or yellow, like a peach. And then I'm gonna show you, and you are the witnesses. The same tree and the same leaves in the last 50, 60 years ago, the Maya people, they never use our dishes now like we use in our homes in the kitchen. Used to be something like a pumpkins. They were chopped down, they were trying, right? And they use this one to washing. All those use like a plates, like a cups for drinking, in those years, corn drink, right? And then in the last year, we use a sponge with plastic. But this one, it was, they used it before to washing the dishes, like a sandpaper. The Maya people, like most of the American people, they never use like a toothbrush, like a toothpaste to wash the teeth. When they were cooking in the firewood, the ash of the firewood, they were taken to exfoliate it to clean it.
Aquí, aquí. Ay, aquí la sombrita, ¿no? Porque no se me solean demasiado.
That is the sponge they use. As you remember, our grandmothers, they use now like a shampoo. And they use chlorine. One before, according to the care, used to be in a small, like a
Pues aquí la sombrita, ¿no? Estoy bien para tener explicación. Entonces, lo que les quería contar, antes de explicarles de las ceremonias religiosas, es que los mayas tenían, sí les platico, tenían una concepción bastante precisa del tiempo.
Actually, you know,
Podían medir el tiempo de una manera muy precisa. Ellos no tenían toda esta tecnología que tenemos ahora, pero por lo mismo que utilizaban, que eran
Roberto Cancun. Roberto Palam. Roberto Cancun. Billy Shea. Roberto. One of the greatest evidences and discovering in America, obviously after was developed the Mayan history for Stephen and Catherwood from USA and from England in 1839. The most beautiful and the greatest evidences in Mexico, Palenque, Chiapas, it was done in about 1952. You check it online because you're going to be interested, you know, in the Mayan culture. Alberto Bruce Lulier. That was the name of the gentleman who was developed one of the greatest funerals of American people, Mayas. Not only the Egyptians, they were celebrating, you know, the funerals of the kings. The Mayas, they did. Pakal. The name of this person, it was Kinich Ahau Pakal. This gentleman is still alive in the people from Palenque. Every March 23, which is the birthday of the gentleman, all over the